Hi, Democrats. Wow, Democrats are stepping up and have found our voices and are ready for some good trouble. First, we had Senator Cory Booker do an inspirational history-making filibuster. Take a look.
With the intention of getting in some good trouble. I rise with the intention of disrupting the normal business of the United States Senate for as long as I am physically able.
And he lasted for 25 hours and 4 minutes. Then we had Wisconsin send a clear message that democracy cannot be bought. Elon Musk, the first buddy, spent over $23 million trying to buy a Supreme Court judge. And then in Florida, in districts that went for Trump by 30 plus points, that lead was slashed in half. That means something. We have to always work towards moving the needle to the left. All over the states, Democrats ran and won in municipal and special elections. And then we had the hands-off rally and the town halls by our state senators and town halls by our candidates. Democrats are out in full force. Let's take a moment and let's celebrate those wins. Now, let's talk about last year. As we know, our nation lost their collective minds and elected a 34 times felon who had been adjudicated for sexual assault to lead our nation. And this was after we experienced real political joy while watching an extremely qualified Kamala Harris run for our lives. Let us not lose sight of the joy that we felt and those positive results. Oklahoma, who has not voted for a Democratic president since President Johnson, still voted for the Republican president, but there was some positive news. We retained every legislative seat. We had some legislators term out and some decide not to run again, yet we retained those seats. This is a result of working together to identify what legislators were doing what and supporting those candidates. This was a collective effort and we pulled it off. Additionally, we recruited candidates to run elsewhere. We didn't gain any additional legislative seats, but we gave Democrats somebody to vote for. Then we made history by electing Tulsa Mayor Monroe Nichols, the first African-American mayor of Tulsa. This election was about more than just race. It was about the arc of the moral universe. He was elected in Tulsa 103 years after the race massacre. Moreover, the race came down to 2 Democrats. It was going to be a flip either way. We flipped that seat. Folks get caught up on the racial significance and forget that this was a seat that was held by a Republican. And then we elected Mayor Amanda Sandoval in Bethany, Oklahoma, our state's first Latina mayor. These results tell us that if we get out and do the work and tell our story, that people are craving leadership that focuses on the people, not some made-up social issues. 2024 was quite a year. We started with President Biden as our nominee, and I was a Biden girl. That's because I paid attention to the results that he brought. Somehow, we've lost sight of what he was able to accomplish, so let me remind you. First, he brought our economy back from the brink, and by the time Super Tuesday came around, we had the second best economy in the world. He navigated us out of a mismanaged COVID-19 pandemic, curbing the massive loss of life that we had been experiencing. He passed the bipartisan infrastructure bill, the bipartisan gun control bill, the CHIPS Act, and the veteran burn pit bill. He got a lot of stuff done for us just to kind of lose sight of. Then there was the horrible debate. Though the debate was hard to watch, it led to real joy. When Vice President Harris became our nominee, the whole world changed. Democrats demonstrated happiness and hope. We saw a surge of involvement and pride. If you ask me what happened, why we don't have President Harris, I tell you that it was because we lost the thread too many times. We let the Orange Goblin take over the media cycle. When she started talking about going after price gougers and bringing prices down, we let him take over the media cycle. He went over to the Blacks in Journalism event and was rude, crazy rude. But we talked about that for weeks. And her issue just kind of got buried in all of that nonsense. And then when she talked about helping people afford homes, he went out on the news and he said, all the Black men and the Latin men are going to be voting for me. And then we spent weeks talking about how we were going to bring those voters back, and her message got lost again. I call this out now because we have to focus. We need to not be distracted by all of the noise. Within the party, we currently have staff to do the things we need to do to help candidates, county parties, and volunteers. During my time as chair, there's been this tug of war. Do we reduce staff after an election? Do we retain staff? I decided that we're going to retain staff, and I'm so glad that I did. As I am sure you've noticed, our comms game has improved. The website is easier to navigate, it's updated regularly, and it's kind of nice to look at. Our social media engagement has more than doubled. We have been working directly with candidates, helping to cut turfs, recruit volunteers, knocking doors, and generally being here to offer advice. We have reduced our van turnaround time from 3 days to less than an hour when the user has completed all of the steps. Fundraising is more targeted than it has been in the past. We are engaging voters where they are. We're having coffee and chats and Democrat care events and legislative events, town halls, and so many more things. We've updated our county guide so that when someone steps up to volunteer, we're giving them a guide to tell them how to do it. And all of this comes from having a dedicated staff that has been allowed to build and learn. We have had 6 special elections since November. And because we had staff, we were able to pitch in and help where needed. We could not have done that if we'd eliminated staff. While the rest of the nation shifted 5 points to the right, Oklahoma only moved 1.2 points. That's a big deal with the orange goblin at the top of the ticket. But let me give you some perspective. Massachusetts, who we all know is a really blue state, moved 9.8 points to the right. We only moved 1.2. In March of 2024, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison came to Norman to assist us with our recruitment efforts. And then in August of 2024, while he was being considered to run for vice president, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear came. This was a fundraiser that was designed to help us raise funds for state legislative candidates. And for the first time in 25 years, the Oklahoma Democratic Party wrote checks directly to candidates to help with their campaigns. And then in February of 2025, outgoing DNC Chairman Jamie Harrison came to Midwest City in the middle of Campaign Academy to help give us a behind-the-scenes download of what happened on the national level. We continue to offer Campaign Academy that is designed to bring a combination of local and national expertise to candidates, campaigns, and volunteers to learn or improve on the strategies that are required to win. Oklahoma is on better track for electoral outcomes. It's because we have to be. Our state legislature has lost their minds. They are running bills that are designed to worsen the plight of homelessness, to restrict our voting voices, and to further deteriorate our education system. The odd numbered years are a time to reevaluate, rebuild, and recruit so that the party is ready for elections in even years. This odd year has had a lot of important elections, and we were ready for it. To further prepare for 2026, we have huge plans. These plans include preparing county parties to help with expanding our recruitment and fundraising efforts. They include a true statewide coordinated campaign and targeted voters registration. Thank you for stepping up, and thank you for being involved. Now, I am looking forward to seeing you at State Convention, which is being held June 28th and 29th in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. This year, we're doing something a little different. We have added a luncheon, which I've entitled the Fight Back Luncheon. And we have an amazing panel that is going to talk to us about how they've had to fight back in their specific disciplines. Tennessee Representative Justin Pearson in his fight for common sense gun laws. Chief Development Officer Heather Rawl Palacios from the Planned Parenthood, reproductive rights. And then Michelle Dietrich, who is the chair of the DNC Council on Climate and Environment. Those are all issues that affect us locally that I love to hear how they fought back nationally. And in that same evening, we're having the Carl Albert Dinner. The Carl Albert Dinner is designed to recognize and honor our volunteers in the spirit of Speaker Carl Albert. That's going to be held June 28th at 7 p.m. I hope you buy your tickets. And then on the next day, we're going to be doing the business of convention. I hope that you're ready. I hope to see you. 2024 has set us up for a productive 2025. The Democratic Party has a bright, bright future. Thank you, and I'll see you at convention.